I never imagined my life would unravel the way it did. I was 27 years old, 7 months pregnant, and preparing to marry the man I thought was my forever. His name was Michael, smooth-talking, well-dressed, respected. To everyone around me, he was the dream, stable, charming, successful. To me, he was safety and laughter. That night, the compound at my father's house was alive with wedding chaos. Aunties tied headscarves, frying chicken in the backyard, cousins dashed about carrying coolers, decorators adjusted ribbons, and gospel music blared from a speaker by the kitchen. It was noisy, joyful, and overwhelming. I sat quietly in my childhood room, rubbing my belly in slow circles. My gown hung on the wardrobe door, white silk waiting for the next morning. My veil rested on the bed. Then Amara walked in. She was my cousin, same age as me, bold in ways I wasn't. She had always been the life of any room, braided hair swaying, chewing gum with her loud laugh. "Nkechi," she said, plopping onto the bed, "are you really just going to sit here till morning? Shouldn't you do something special for Michael? He's at Grand Orchid Suites tonight. Sneak over, give him that wristwatch you bought. Write him a note. Surprise him. He'll never forget it." I laughed weakly. "Amara, I'm exhausted. My legs are swollen. I just want to sleep." She rolled her eyes, smacking her gum. "Exactly why it'll mean more. Do it for love. Tomorrow, you'll be his wife. Show him you're already thinking of him tonight." Her words pressed against me, and for some reason I stood up. Maybe it was hormones. Maybe it was because Amara always had a way of pushing me. I picked up the small bag with Michael's gift, a gold wristwatch and a folded letter I had written weeks ago. "Fine," I said softly. "But I won't stay long." Amara's smile spread too wide, almost triumphant. At the time, I thought it was excitement for me. Now, looking back, I know better. Grand Orchid Suites stood like a quiet crown on Victoria Island, glowing yellow against the night sky. I stepped out of the Uber, one hand under my belly, the other clutching the gift bag. The lobby smelled of polished wood and citrus air freshener. "Good evening," I said at the reception desk. "I'm looking for Mr. Michael Okeke. He checked in earlier today." The receptionist typed, then looked up politely. "Yes, he checked in. But he's not alone." The word stopped me. "Not alone?" "Yes," she said. "He came in with a woman." Something cold spread through my chest. A woman? My first thought was to laugh it off, maybe his sister, maybe a planner, maybe someone helping with tomorrow. I forced a smile, thanked her, and walked to the elevator. Inside the lift, my reflection stared back at me. My stomach curved outward, full of life. My eyes were wide, but I didn't cry. I pressed the button for the 7th floor, whispering to myself, "Don't jump to conclusions. Don't assume, just check." The hallway was silent, carpet soft under my slippers. I walked slowly, passing room 708, 710. Then I stopped. Room 712. The voices were muffled at first, then clearer. Laughter. Then moaning. My knees went weak. I pressed my ear against the doorframe. Michael's voice. Distinct. Familiar. Mocking. "Nkechi is too emotional these days. I'm only marrying her because of the baby. If she wasn't pregnant, I'd be gone already." A woman giggled. "You're wicked." He laughed again. "She thinks this is love, but she's nothing without that child. Once the wedding is done, I'll control everything, her money, her life. Everything." The sound of kissing. The squeak of a bed. More laughter. I didn't cry. Not one tear fell. My lips trembled, but my hand stayed steady as I pulled out my phone. With shaky fingers, I hit record. For 6 long minutes, I recorded the laughter, the lies, the sounds that turned my stomach. When it was enough, I backed away quietly, like a ghost. My palm pressed against my belly, not with joy, but with protection. In the Uber ride home, I copied the recording to a memory card. I emailed a backup to myself. I bought tissues and water at a pharmacy, sat in the car, and whispered, "I am not the fool you think I am, Michael. Tomorrow, the world will know who you are." That night, I didn't sleep. I lay awake, phone glowing on the bedside table, listening again and again. The pain was fire, but it didn't burn me down, it hardened me. By dawn, I had a plan. The morning of my wedding broke like any other in Lagos, loud and hurried. Gospel music boomed from the courtyard, decorators tied ribbons, aunties barked instructions, and cousins ran with trays of food. To everyone else, it was joy. To me, it was a funeral dressed in white. I sat in front of the mirror while the makeup artist dusted powder across my caramel skin. "You're so calm," she said, smiling. "Most brides are shaking by now." I smiled faintly. "I'm ready." The gown hung nearby, white silk with a veil that shimmered faintly in the morning light. Beside it lay my bouquet, a soft arrangement of cream roses, but hidden inside was a small Bluetooth device I had tucked in the night before. It would connect to the church's sound system once I pressed a button. At 7:30 a.m., a message buzzed on my phone. It was from my lawyer, Mr. James. License cancelled. Officially withdrawn. No valid marriage can take place today. Good luck. I exhaled slowly. One part of the plan was done. Downstairs, Michael looked like every mother's dream for a son-in-law. White suit, polished shoes, clean haircut. He greeted guests warmly, shaking hands, laughing, carrying himself like a king about to claim his crown. Beside him, Amara stood in her gold bridesmaid dress, phone in her hand, smiling too much. From the window upstairs, I watched them. They looked perfect together, like nothing could touch them. And that's when I realized my anger was gone. I wasn't angry anymore. I was ready. By 10:45 a.m., the church hall was packed. White walls, pink ribbons tied neatly, flowers on the altar, cameras flashing everywhere. A banner above the stage read, "Welcome to the wedding of Michael and Nkechi." Guests whispered and laughed, phones snapping pictures. The choir rehearsed softly. Everything looked perfect. At exactly 11 a.m., the convoy pulled into the compound. My bridal car door opened. I stepped out, veil draped, gown flowing, bouquet in hand. People gasped. "Ah. Nkechi looks like a queen. God took time to create this one." The choir began to sing as I walked down the aisle, each step slow, deliberate. Michael's smile widened when he saw me. He leaned toward his best man and whispered, "You see? She came. I told you she wouldn't change her mind." He had no idea. At the altar, my father gave me away with a kiss on my forehead. I took my place beside Michael. Pastor David, tall and kind-eyed, lifted the microphone. "Good morning, church. Today is a day of joy. A day where two hearts become one." My grip tightened on the bouquet. My heart thundered, but my face stayed calm. Pastor David smiled. "Michael, please say your vows." Michael took the microphone confidently. His voice filled the room, warm and convincing. "Nkechi, from the first day I met you, I knew you were special. You brought peace into my life, joy into my days. You carry our child, and with each day, you carry more of my heart. Today, I promise to love you, protect you, and stand with you forever." The crowd clapped. Some even wiped their eyes. Amara smiled proudly, recording with her phone. Michael handed the mic back. Pastor David turned to me. "Nkechi, your vows, please." I stepped forward slowly. My fingers brushed the hidden button inside my bouquet. I pressed it. The sound system crackled. And then, his voice filled the church. "Nkechi is too emotional these days. I'm only marrying her because of the baby. If she wasn't pregnant, I'd be gone already." Gasps. Heads turned. Murmurs rippled through the pews. The recording continued. "She thinks this is love, but she's nothing without that child. Once the wedding is done, I'll control everything, her money, her life. Everything." Then the woman's giggle. The sound of kisses. The squeak of a hotel bed. The church exploded. People shouted. Phones went up, recording. Some guests covered their mouths. One woman fainted. Michael's face turned white. He lunged forward, reaching for the microphone. It's not what you think. Pastor David blocked him with one arm. Stay back. I held the mic firmly. My voice was calm, steady. This, I said, is what my groom was doing last night. Room 712, Grand Orchid Suites. I was home, praying for today. He was here. With her. I turned and pointed straight at Amara. Gasps became screams. Women shouted. Some stood, shaking their heads. Her own cousin? Yezu. This is abomination. Amara froze, her phone slipping from her hand. She tried to leave quietly, but too many eyes were on her. It's not what you think, she stammered. It's exactly what we think, I said. The hall shook with noise, anger, disbelief, shame. Pastor David tried to calm the crowd, but it was too late. The wedding had become a courtroom. I pulled off my veil. My face was calm, but my voice cut through the noise. I came here today to marry a man I thought loved me. Instead, I found the truth in time. I won't cry. I won't run. I will walk out of here with my head high. I will raise this child in peace alone. I dropped the ring on the floor. And then, as the choir stared, I turned to them. Sing, not for a wedding but for freedom. And I walked down the aisle, bouquet still in hand, gown trailing like a queen going to war. The choir hesitated, then began to sing. Slow at first, then stronger. Guests clapped, some crying, some cheering. Phones recorded every step. Michael stood frozen at the altar, his perfect smile shattered. Amara sat shaking, face in her palms, trapped by the crowd's scorn. I didn't look back. Outside, the sun hit my face. The air felt new, sharp, alive. My baby kicked, and for the first time in days, I smiled. Inside the church, chaos didn't calm quickly. Some women ran to comfort Amara's mother, who had fainted. Michael's friend stood frozen, unable to meet anyone's eyes. Pastor David still held the Bible, but his hands trembled. Michael tried to speak, but no one listened. It's a lie. She set me up. It was a joke, role play. His words fell flat. The recording was too clear. His voice, his laugh, his betrayal, it was undeniable. At the front row, Michael's mother stood, trembling with shame. She slapped her son's shoulder hard. You wicked boy. With your cousin? With your pregnant bride watching from her bed? You disgrace me, you disgrace us all. Michael bent, begging. Mama, please. Don't call me Mama, she shouted, her wrapper shifting as she turned away. From today, you are no son of mine. The congregation gasped again. Phones caught everything. Within minutes, clips were already spreading online. By the time people left the church, hashtags were trending. Hashtag bride exposes groom, hashtag room 712, hashtag betrayal on the altar. Amara tried to sneak out through a side door. But women from the church blocked her path. You shameless child, one hissed. You slept with your cousin's groom, another spat. Amara's gold dress glittered under the harsh lights, but her face was pale and sweaty. She stammered, it was a mistake. I didn't mean. A woman laughed bitterly. A mistake that lasted all night? Phones recorded her tears. She covered her face and slid back onto the pew, sobbing. But no one comforted her. Even her own mother turned away, unable to look at her. Meanwhile, I had already walked out into the sun. My father followed me, placing a hand gently on my shoulder. My daughter, let's go home. You've said enough. I turned to him slowly. No, Papa. I have one more thing to say. Confused, he followed as I walked back into the church. The crowd parted as I entered. My gown trailed behind me like a storm returning. The noise died. All eyes fixed on me. I climbed the altar steps again, facing the congregation. My voice carried without shaking. I want to speak for every woman who has been lied to. For every woman who carried a man's child while he carried secrets. For every woman who gave love and was paid with betrayal. I turned to Michael. His face was wet with sweat, his lips trembling. I gave you everything. My trust. My time. My body. And now, my child. You mocked me, used me, and thought I would never find out. But today, the whole world knows the truth. And I will not wear shame for your sins. The hall erupted in applause. Some guests stood, clapping with tears in their eyes. I handed the microphone back to Pastor David. The wedding is over. Then I walked out for the second time. This time, no one tried to stop me. By evening, the story was everywhere. Social media burned with clips from the church. The recording was shared millions of times. Bloggers wrote headlines like, "Bride turns wedding into courtroom drama and pregnant woman exposes groom and cousin at altar." Michael's business investors withdrew overnight. Uncle Ikenna, who I had warned earlier, pulled his millions out before the scandal broke. By the next week, Michael's company collapsed like a roof eaten by termites. Amara disappeared from the city for months. Her name became a proverb. Mothers told their daughters, "Don't be like Amara." As for me, I moved on. Slowly, but with dignity. The child I carried became my anchor. I named her Kayamaka. God is beautiful. Every time I looked into her eyes, I knew I had made the right choice. I went back to school, finished my degree, and started working in a bank. My life wasn't perfect, but it was mine. Free from lies. Free from betrayal. On nights when I felt lonely, I remembered that day at the altar not as a tragedy, but as the day I chose truth over illusion. The day I proved to myself that I was stronger than betrayal. Betrayal wears a smile, but truth wears patience. A woman's silence is not weakness, it is often the gathering of strength. Never build your future on lies, they collapse faster than walls of sand. And above all, love is not meant to chain you. It is meant to free you. If this story shook you, don't just scroll past. Hit subscribe, share this with someone who needs to hear it, and drop a comment below. Would you have walked away like Nkechi? Or stayed? Because sometimes, the altar isn't where love begins. It's where truth shows its face.